Hi, my name is Dennis Siri. I am Executive Director and founder of the New York City Independent Film Festival, Independent in Spirit, International at Heart, and this is the New York City Independent Film Festival Meet the Filmmakers podcast. Join us while we meet this year's filmmakers. Thank you. Bye bye. Today we're here with Alexandria, and welcome. Please introduce yourself and tell us about your film.
First of all, thank you for having me. It's a great pleasure and honor. My name is Aleksandar. I'm a director of a film Across in a Desert. I'm from Belgrade, Serbia. I graduated film and television directing in 2010. And since then, I'm working in a field. I did 12 short documentary and fiction films. I did 2 feature films, and one of them is also Across in a Desert. And I did 2 documentary films, and I hope that I will do much more in years to come. This is this film, Crossing a Desert, is my biggest project so far. It is art house independent production. It was produced by our family small production company, Alexandria Film. I founded it when I was still in an academy, still studying directing, and of course with support of my parents, we did all the mentioned projects. This project is very important for me because the film I did is based on a novel that was written by my mother, and she was a co-writer of a script. So it's both. I did it also in a way as a passion project. So I'm really happy after 2 years after the premiere, and that it had a great success. Maybe it's even more than we expected for art house film, since it was on 59 festivals and won 31 awards so far, and it had more than 100,000 admissions and viewers. So I'm really happy that people like the film, and I hope that also audience on your festival will like the film.
Yeah, sounds great. So I see it was a passion project, family project. So I guess
Yes.
my next question, which I usually ask, is how did your family feel about you being a filmmaker? But I guess that's kind of been answered considering your mom helped you write the screenplay. But
Yeah,
so still, did you find that they were always supportive, or they sit there and go, why aren't you studying to be a lawyer or an architect or something?
that's really interesting question, because my father, he's not from the art field. He's a, economist, and he had his own private insurance company. He had it for over 25 years, and at one point, okay, of course, he supported my mother, and she also, they met actually. She also finished, and she graduated economy, but she never wanted to do that. She always wanted to be a writer. So they met on a university. It was great love, and I'm the kind of a product of that love. So uh, at one point, when I told them, when I was a kid also, I liked acting, and I was liked writing. I showed interest toward art, and also in elementary and high school, I was in different programs that were more art filled than any other. And at one point, when I told them that I would like to study filmmaking, uh, they just asked me, do I know what does it mean, and am I ready for that, and am I aware that it can happen that I can't work in my can't work in that field, and cannot do my job because it's really hard to make a film, and that it can happen that I need to do corporate videos or music videos that I don't like, or commercials or stuff. And I said yes, and I'm aware, because all of that is directing. in a way. So it doesn't necessarily need to be always art, and it doesn't need to be something that we created for ourselves and for the audience. But I was really sure that since I had interest in writing, in acting, in music, in photography, that the filmmaking is the only job that can,
Well,
in a
that's
way, yes, and where I can express all of my interests and talents. So eventually, my father, I know that he wasn't too happy when he heard that I don't want to be economist, and then I'm not going to inherit family business. But after few years, when I studied already, and when he saw the results, of course he supported me, and that's how I came up to idea. I said, look, we can found a production company, and actually, since the film is not only art, it's business. It's perfect for my father to be head of the company, general manager, and a producer in a way, and to handle all the financial stuff. And of course, he accepted. And a few years later, he sold the insurance company, and he's dedicated to the production. So in a way, he produced all of my films, and now this one, as the biggest project so far, is in a way most beautiful, since the whole family was included in a process in making it. Mother was a co-writer and a co-producer. I was writer, director, and father was producer. So it was really really touching and emotional moment
sounds
on
great.
a premiere. Yeah. So when the awards came, they really shared the joy with me, and of course, uh, they are really happy to work on the next project.
That's great. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, so let's see what we have here. So I think you already answered how many films have you done? That's already answered. You answered how your family felt. So do you also in Beirut, do you have a group of like a tribe, a group of people, of filmmakers that is your group, your support system, if you will?
In a way, I always try to be as much independent as I can. Since you know that in order to make something that requires so much money, it's hard to do it by yourself, unless you have some really rich uncle that left you some wealth. But of course, filmmaking is a team business and teamwork, and you cannot do it alone. Although I did all my short films as in a way in one-man band, so I directed, I wrote it, I shot it, I edited it, and you can do it with a short film, but for a feature or fiction, and with more budget and more responsibility, you need to share that, and because you need to focus just on your job. So yes, I made really good friends during university years, and I actually, a friend of mine that I met on the academy, he was my assistant director on this film, and I always loved to, and also sound recordist. He was also my colleague from the university, and I really like to work with the people I know, because I really feel secure in a way, and they know how I work. I know how they work. We don't need too much to talk about it when we are on set, so we can work very fast because we already know how we're gonna do the things. Also, one of my great teammates is a sound mixer and sound designer who I'm working with over 15 years. So also, I like to work with the actors. It's not unusual for director to have some favorite actors he want to work with. So also, I'm whenever I can, I try to engage people who I like to work with. And yes, in a way, I created my circle, small circle of people who I trust and who trust me. And it's a beautiful thing when you have, for example, actor who you call and say, I have an idea, I want to see if you're interested, and he said, yes, I'm interested before hearing the idea, because he trusts that what you're going to do is going to be something uh, something good, and something that he can see himself in it. So the problem, of course, not only here in Serbia but everywhere, you have some kind of clans, and groups that work together, and it's hard to uh, to finish something huge when you're not part of I don't know, political scene, or some society scene, or some circles who already um, holding the positions, and especially when you have a small. Serbia doesn't have film industry in a way. It's more like art house productions, and it's not commercial, so that you too much, so you cannot actually have a huge amount of money. So the way is really long, and when you have that, you need to have patience. You have years in developing the project, with also applying to the funds for money, and European funds, and mm, it's a long way. But as I said, when you have your team and your friends beside you, it's easier when you have support, not only, of course, financial, but artistic support, and someone who believes in your project.
Emotional support.
Yes.
All right. That's cool. That's great. Actually, sounds like you actually lucked out a lot in a lot of different ways. All right. So what was, I guess you already answered what made you decide to make this movie. This is your mom's novel. But do you want to elaborate on that? Like, was it just the fact that it's your mom's novel, or what was it that you read her novel and said, oh, yes, I got to make this into a movie?
Yes, I read that novel almost 20 years ago when she wrote it. And it's one of the Serbian bestsellers novels, best-selling novels. And I think that since the topic of the film is a story about female saint, Saint Paraskeva. She is a saint from the Balkans, and she's very popular in not only Orthodox countries, but in Christianity. And she's very popular saint in Serbia because her relics were once in Serbia, and she was in a way a miracle worker. And I found that really interesting because there are not so many films on such topic. You have a lot of films with the biblical topics, and something that's more interesting or more popular from New or Old Testament, and some stories about modern miracles. But this is a story that happens in the 10th century in a Jordan desert. And it was really interesting to me and challenging to show something that is not shown too much. And it's how a regular person and a common girl becomes a saint. And what was challenging is that in a way everybody can recognize themselves in a part of a film. Uh, it doesn't matter if you're a religious person or not. I got really great feedback from atheists, from people from other religions, and it was in a way for me confirmation that we managed to make story that's not just like niche of a film. It's more universal and understanding all over the world. And so far we didn't show film, I think only in Japan, so I don't have a feedback from there, and from China. But we had shown film from Australia, Africa, Europe, Middle East, and of course America, and South America. So in a way, it was really interesting to see how people react. And of course, since this is the first film, my first film was my own story, and this one is based on mother's novel. So it was really, as I said in the beginning, it was really emotional and touching to see such a great success of something that is not so commercial in a way. It's not a blockbuster. It's a art house independent film, and seeing that it's recognized in that way, and that audience understood it worldwide, it was really a huge pleasure for both for me and my mother.
Okay, that's great. Well, thank you. All right, so I guess one last question is, what was the hardest part and what was the most fun part of making this movie?
Well, the hardest part was finding, for me as a director, since I did my first film in 2012. Before that and after that, I worked as assistant director on various projects, TV and the film projects for Serbian famous directors. And at one point, when I was working on my short films, I said, okay, what's next after my debut feature film? And when I decided to do this film, I told my mother about it. And in the beginning, she was a bit scared because she knew it's a huge project, and it's something that involves the international crew filming in a Jordan desert abroad. And we filmed there for 20, 21 days. And it was first time that I should do actually something outside of Serbia. And also I wrote it, directed it, produced it, and she was a bit afraid how we're going to handle it. But I really believe that we can do it. And I knew all the time that from the beginning of from writing the script till the end that we will do it successfully. It was a hard path because of course finding financials for film, it's hardest part in independent filmmaking. We managed to do that with various in various ways, from sponsors, from Serbian Ministry of Culture. We got support from Jordanian Film Center, and eventually, when it wasn't enough, we sold a house that we had in Montenegro. We had it for in the sea. We sold it, and part of that was invested in post production of the film. So then my mom joked that we should think what we're gonna do next, because we had only one house. so
You
so
can't sell another one.
yeah. So actually, that was the hardest part from production perspective. But in creative way, the hardest part was to find right way to adapt the best-selling novel. Because if you have a book that's worshipped by readers for 20 years, and it's really hard to adapt the book, especially if it's a period piece. um, Even with the huge productions in Hollywood and worldwide, you always have something that needs to be changed, and readers don't like it because in the end they said, oh, why they didn't put this or that. But I found actually what was interesting from the story is actually our lead character, Saint Paraskeva. She lived in a desert for 40 years, and my film focused on that period, how she became saint in the desert, not what happened before or after.
Mhm.
So it helped me in a way, of course, in a production way, but it helped also in a creative way, not to spread the story too much and to focus on her inner state. And I think that was good decision. And audience who read the book and watched the film said that it's that story. It's not the whole book, but it's essential from the book, and it's in a way, as they say, like a vertical line that talks about spirituality and the path of our lead character. So that was the hardest thing to overcome, because book
What
was
was the
written
most fun part?
the most fun part, beside the whole process, since I end up in a way, I end up also as a cinematographer for the film. So I the whole part in the desert, I also was camera operator for that, and I shot it. I edited the film because of the Corona and COVID period when we were in a lockdown. I came back from Jordan Desert in December 2019, and when we started preparing material for editing in March was lockdown, and I was sitting for 2 months, couldn't get out. So I talked to my editor and said, what are we gonna do? How are we gonna finish the film? And he said, you wrote it, you directed it, you shot it, you can edit it, and you can do the first cut, and then you will send me online to see the
Right.
what you did. Yeah, so I ended up also as editor of the film, and the whole process was, in a way, fun, because in the end, although I'm satisfied around 80-85%, because of course you need to make some compromises for in a along the way. I was really happy that I got through all those roles, and that film is actually what I intended and what I saw. So
Great.
I think that I'm not going to do it next time, because the film I'm planning is more complicated. So I want to focus on just on my job. But yeah, that was the fun part, and in the end, I had great experience. First time I did sound, really serious post production of a sound, and we did it for over 2 months. And I had really, since when you have such kind of a film, which is a poetic film based on a sound and image, and with a few dialogues in it, you need to be creative in directing the sound, and music was done phenomenally by our great composer Anna Krstajic, and it was really great experience. And I think that I don't know if I'm gonna have another chance to do it in that way, because and it's expensive in a post production, but I really think that this film will have a really important place in my entire career.
That's great. Great. All right. I guess the only other thing I have is at this point in time, it's just any closing statements you want to make. You know,
Well, I think that I would like to give kind of advice for other filmmakers who are
okay,
making
great.
independent films. Um, you need to believe in yourself and in believe in your project. And I had a moment when I thought that I'm not gonna finish this film, that I will not find financial and money for it. And but I really, somehow I knew that it's good, and that the good things needs to end up good. So uh, you should really trust yourself, and trust your idea, and pursue your wish to finish it, and to overcome all the challenges. And I think that independent filmmaking is in a way harder, of course, than when you have a backup and from the huge production or studio. But in a way, when you don't have a huge budget, you need to be more creative in a way to
Compensate.
finish what you intended. Yes, and you need to think of all the ways, and I think that's the best learning. And even if you make some mistakes, you can learn on them, and you can fix that for your next project. So it's important to maintain, and to have independent filmmaking, because if you have all the huge directors and our idols, when you watch their first films, you can see that they started from something really simple, and that it was also without huge budgets, and that it was creativity that they were recognized for, and they stand out for it. So I really think that whoever nowadays you can make film at your home on your computer. Back in the days you couldn't do it. You need to had a huge labs and film reel, and it was much more complicated. Nowadays you need a phone or a camera or a DSLR, and you can go out. You can have some beautiful lenses on eBay, and you can try to do it yourself, to learn to learn on YouTube with the tutorials and stuff. You can learn much stuff today easier, so there is no excuse. So you can always find some friends and practice with them and make a film with them, and I think that's the best way to learn and to be better and better every day.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. And thank you for joining us. I'm going to throw a little plug in here. So a cross in the desert is going to play the New York City Independent Film Festival on Thursday at 9:35 in New York City. And we hope to see you all there. And thank you very much for joining us.